think we're live.
Let's see if it's clear.
No, it's good.
Good?
Oh, yeah, it was fine. Don't still do it here. You just tuck this
You're
in.
fine. Not what you. So it's wider on here. You want more of it off.
No, it's fine.
Oh, you can see.
You can see our colorful fridge.
It's like it's delayed a couple seconds.
Look at all those viewers. It's 7, 8. What?
Trying to scroll in it. Can you even?
No, I think it's
Okay.
okay.
Alright.
You want me to get started? It's 5:30. I will give it another minute and then we will get started. I can hear myself.
So it's hard to hear you.
I'm not talking right now. That's probably why. Unless you can't hear me right now. I'm not talking right now. That's probably why. Unless you can't hear me right now. Okay, I think I'm gonna get started. Okay, so we are gonna get started. Before we get started, there is the list of the recipe in the event. So if you want to take a look at that before we get started, it has all the ingredients so you can kind of prepare ahead of time if you plan on making this with me. So my name's Kamryn. I'm the creator and owner of this business called Kamryn's Creations. What I do is I teach cooking and baking classes. I do private events, birthday parties, and weddings. And now I do virtual classes. Half of my proceeds go to local charities and organizations in our community, and the other half goes to my scholarship fund so I can attend the Culinary Institute of America after high school. Today we are going to be making hamburger cupcakes, and I have all my ingredients all ready, so we're just going to get moving. And if you bought the recipe kit, the bags are labeled with a B and a C. B stands for brownie and C stands for cupcake. So while we're making the batter, when we're making the brownie batter, make sure you use the bags with a B on them. And when we're making cupcakes, make sure you use the bags with a C. So with that, we are going to get started. I have my recipe sheet right here. If you have any questions, just drop them below. And as we go, if we have a little free time, we'll answer some questions. So the first thing we're going to do is make the brownies. Our oven is preheating to 350 degrees right now, so turn your oven on. The first thing we're gonna do is combine our butter. We have 1 cup of melted butter. It has been cooling. 2 tablespoons of oil. And then we have our sugars. We have granulated sugar and brown sugar, and I'll check the measurements real quick. 1 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. And I'm using Pioneer sugar or Michigan sugar. You can get these at your local grocery store. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to pour it in. That's my oven. And then I am going to be whisking the brownie batter. So I'm going to just start slowly whisking it together till it's mixed up pretty good. Until it's completely combined together. It's looking pretty good. So now I'm going to pour in my eggs. I have 4 eggs. Dump all these in. Oh, wait. Did my vanilla evaporate? Oh no, the vanilla's up here. That's leftover oil. I thought my vanilla evaporated. And then I have 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And then I'm going to whisk this together. I'm going to start by breaking my egg yolks. It'll just make it easier to mix. And this you're going to mix for about 1 minute until it's completely combined. It'll turn a lighter color. You can get your workout in too while you're at it. Make sure that you get all the egg mixed in because it's a little more challenging when we're not using a hand mixer or a stand mixer with a whisk. Okay, that's looking pretty good. It's pretty mixed together, very well combined. So now I'm going to dump in my last ingredient. Mom, can you take this and hand me a spatula? She's our behind the scenes person. And I'm going to dump in 1 cup of cocoa powder and 1 cup of flour. It's all purpose flour. I'm going to dump this in very carefully so I don't make a big mess. Okay. And I'm going to slowly fold this in. Notice that I switched from a whisk to a spatula. It's going to be a lot easier, especially because it'll thicken up so it won't stick to the whisk. Make sure you scrape down the sides while you're going so you get all the cocoa powder mixed in. Like I said, if you guys have any questions during today's little baking demo / cooking class, just drop them below. So it's almost there. It's getting pretty good. Start mixing it a little more aggressively now that I know that the flour is not going to go everywhere. Looking pretty good. While you're finishing up, if you want to have someone line a cookie sheet with parchment paper, you could try spraying it really well, but parchment paper is going to work the best because it's not going to stick to your pan. And this will be really good for when we're taking these out of the oven and forming our hamburger patties. Okay, this looks pretty good. Pretty well mixed. So I'm going to spread this onto my cookie sheet. It is going to be really thin, but that's okay. It'll also take a lot less time to bake. Just like that. Get most of the batter. Move that over. I'm going to take this and I'm going to spread out my batter so it's even. just like that. Here we go. Okay, so it's pretty even. Give it a little tap. It's flat, and this is ready to get popped in the oven. It's gonna go in for probably, oh yeah, I'll take that. I already got chocolate on my hand. This is going to go in for 12 to 18 minutes. It is really thin, so it's going to take a lot less time to bake than a normal thick brownie. Hey.
You gonna wash your hands first?
Can I just get a napkin? My hands are sticky from the brownie mixture.
Water in it?
Yeah. So what have you guys been doing while you're at home? I've been baking a lot. Wipe this off. I'm gonna keep this. Okay. Looks pretty good. Yeah.
Are they ready to go?
Is everybody ready to move on to the next step? I'll give you another minute in case you're starting to fall behind a little bit, but this video will be posted after. So if you want to come back and make these later, all the measurements have been mentioned in the recipe while we've been baking. All my tips and tricks will stay in this video. So if you ever want to make them again, just come back and make them. Let me know how it goes. You can post a picture after you make them today, tagging me, and who knows, maybe I'll comment on them. Okay. So now we are going to get ready for our cupcakes. So we're just making a basic vanilla cupcake recipe. Your oven stays at 350, so no worries, you can keep them the same temperature. Before we get started, we are going to line our cupcake pan. It doesn't matter what liners you're using because you will be taking these off once you assemble your hamburgers. So whatever you have lying around works. And if you don't have liners, you could Crisco the pans really well and the cakes should just pop out. There we go. I got a few extra. Okay, so I can set this off to the side. So I need to get my hand mixer ready. Is it plugged in? Okay. Get my beaters. They all look the same. Oh yeah. I have 3 for. There we go. Okay. These ones go together. Lock them in. And now we are gonna get started. So the first thing we need to do is beat the butter and sugar together. We're gonna mix it for about 3 minutes till it gets really fluffy. I have my butter sitting at room temperature. If you haven't had yours sitting out for a while, you can just put it in the microwave for about 5 seconds at a time and rotate it. I wouldn't recommend going over 20 seconds because it might start melting. But if you need to do that real quick, then I'm gonna pour in my granulated sugar. Remember, for everyone who bought a kit, now you're using your bags with a C on them. That was a half a cup of butter and 1 cup of sugar, granulated. And now I'm going to mix this up till it becomes really fluffy. It'll be a few minutes, so it'll probably just sound like a loud mixer. Scrape it down. Thank you. And then I'm going to finish mixing it. nice and light and fluffy. Scraping it down. Now I'm going to add, I have 2 eggs. I'm going to add them one at a time and mix it in. So dump in 1 egg, and then I'm going to mix it. That looks good. Then I can add in my other egg and my vanilla. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla. It's looking pretty good. This might drip. I'll clean it up later. Scrape it down. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I have my flour and my milk. I'm going to alternate back and forth putting them into my batter. So I have 1 1/3 cup of flour. So I'm going to dump in about half. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a rough measurement. Looks pretty good. And I'm going to slowly mix this in. And I forgot to mention, my baking powder I already had mixed in with my dry ingredients. You need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I have half a cup of milk. I'm going to dump in half of it, just like I said, a rough estimate, and mix it in. Then you can dump in the rest of your dry ingredients. And mix those in. And the rest of your milk. Mixed up pretty well. I'm going to scrape it down, make sure that everything gets combined. Okay, it's all mixed up pretty good. It is more of a liquidy batter, so if it looks a little soft, it's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna pop these off. Just like that. Done. All set. I'm just going to be using any measuring cup you have. This will just be an easy way to keep track of how much batter you're putting in your tin. So I just grabbed a 2/3 cup. It's whatever you want to use. I'm going to use it as my scooper. Scoop up my batter, and I normally take my spatula from Pioneer Sugar, and I'm just cleaning it off so it doesn't drip too much. And then I'm gonna pour them. You want them 1/2 to 3/4 the way full. Just like that. And try to keep them pretty even. Just like this. A few more to do. I'm really lucky right now. I'm doing pretty good today, pouring this cupcake batter. Normally it's a lot messier. I'm pretty concentrated. Normally though, I would have it all over the pan, so it's okay. So these are all set. They're all filled pretty evenly. I'm just gonna give them a tap. That way they all even out. I'm gonna check and make sure they might need a little bit more in a few. It's always good. Whoa. It's always good to check them before you put them in the oven and make sure they're even. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we are going to pop these in the oven. And then first, because they're gonna take a little longer, if you have some extra cupcake batter, if you have another tin, you can line it and make some more with the rest. If you don't, you can try it if you want. Or, I've never tried this, but you might be able to put it in a mug and microwave it and make like microwave cakes. That would be something to try. Okay. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay, there we go, we're back. So we have a little bit of downtime right now. Both of our things are in the oven and they're cooking. So we have our brownies in the oven, we have our cupcakes in the oven. If you missed it at the beginning, today we're making hamburger cupcakes. So if you've ever seen Kids Baking Championship, there is a round. It's pretty famous for people that like to bake. It's probably one of my favorite ones to watch. They make an imposter of something, so they will take baked things and have to make things out of baked goods and turn it into like a grilled cheese, or it has to look like a grilled cheese. So we're kind of making mini hamburgers. If you have any questions, you can drop them below, or if you want to tell me anything, let me know. What you could be doing right now, I have prepped most of my stuff already. I'm gonna go grab it. I've already prepped most of my things, but some stuff you can do right now, if you have some sprinkles you want to put on top, you can either have a seeded burger bun or you can have an unseeded one. That's completely up to you. I have some white jimmies that I'm going to use. They are little sprinkles. These are going to be my seeds. You can take some coconut if you have any and I put a little drop of green food coloring and shook it up really well, and you can see it took on the green color. Now, you know that on a burger you can put whatever kind of toppings you want, so feel free to get creative. If you don't want to put lettuce on your burger, you don't have to. Make your burger how you want to eat it. I made some yellow and some red. This is just frosting. I used buttercream that I dyed yellow and I dyed red. That's like ketchup and mustard, or you can do ketchup and cheese. That is up to you. Or you can do ketchup, mustard, and cheese. And then this is optional. I got toothpicks to put in the top like a diner burger, but if you don't have toothpicks, that's completely okay. So our stuff's kind of in the oven right now. Has anybody asked any questions?
I don't see any right now.
Okay.
Anything else you want to know about me?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions about me, anything you want to ask, baking related, cooking related, if you guys have any things that you've been wanting to learn for a long time, let me know. I am trying to do more virtual classes because I have a lot of time right now. And, oh.
Should I check my brownies?
Yes, you should. They are going to be more of a fudgy brownie because we're going to form them. They've been in 14 minutes. Yeah, you can check them. We're checking ours right now. They're not quite done.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's burns. Oh, my hands.
The edges are done, but...
Yeah, it's going to bake from the outside in. Did you already do the brownies? Yes. So what I did is I kind of introduced myself. I'm the creator and owner of Kamryn's Creations. I teach classes, I sell baked goods, and I donate half my profits to local charities. And the other half goes to my scholarship fund so I can attend the Culinary Institute of America. Then we kind of got on a roll. I'll just recap what we did. We mixed all of our ingredients together for our brownie batter. We laid it out on a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper or really well greased, and we threw it in the oven for 12 to 18 minutes until it's just completely cooked. And then we started on our cupcake batter. We did a basic vanilla cupcake recipe. We put them in liners. It doesn't matter what liner because we are going to take them out. And now we are here. I was just kind of going over all the little things you needed to decorate your burgers. Hopefully that kind of catches anyone up that wasn't here at the beginning. I also said at the beginning, if you want to make these in the future, this video will be posted for a few weeks. It's a very easy and fun activity to do with whoever you're with. So if you get a little bit of free time, which I know we all have right now, just feel free to get into the kitchen and create something. So tomorrow night, I have a dinner planned. So if you like baking, but you're also really into cooking, you can go to my page. I have dropped what we are doing for tomorrow's online cooking. How long are we cooking the cupcakes? We are cooking these for 9 to 12 minutes. You should be able to, well, it might be a little hot, but take a toothpick and you can insert it in the cupcake and then pull it out. If no cupcake sticks to your toothpick, they're completely done and ready to come out of the oven. Please wait for them to cool before you start peeling them, otherwise they'll stick to the wrappers.
Maybe more like 15 minutes, right?
More like 15?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah. We're checking our brownie again. So like I was saying, tomorrow night I have a cooking demo. Now I didn't sell kits for this one because it's a little more challenging. It's still going to be just as fun if you want to come watch. If you want to go to my page, all the ingredients are listed. Is it done?
Oh, so you can touch it and see. Okay, you're not going to use all of it.
Yeah. My brownie's done. You see, I put it on parchment paper so it just peels up very nicely. Come on and watch the cooking class. I'm really excited. I love cooking, and we're going to be making honey mustard chicken with potatoes and tons of other vegetables, whatever's kind of in season works. On Saturday, if you have any little toddlers or someone that wants to have a little fun, make something for breakfast, I am going to be doing another virtual class. I'm going to be reading a book, and we'll also be making pancake bites. So we're going to take our mini, cupcake pan, a mini cupcake pan, and turning them into pancake bites. And it's really cool how they get to specialize them and make them their own. So hopefully I see you there. Yeah, if you don't have a mini cupcake pan, you also can use regular cupcake pans. You could probably also make them on the stove if you really wanted to. Because you'll see if you watch the live stream how we're going to make them our own. And you could probably cook them as a pancake as well. So our brownie has come out. It's very hot, so I'm waiting for it to cool right now.
What do you want for it? Do you want a spoon?
Yeah, a spoon works. I'm going to use a spoon for mine. I'm not doing it yet. It's definitely way too hot right now. If you have a blast chiller, I don't. I wish I did. You can throw them in the blast chiller, and they'll cool down pretty quick. You guys have any other questions? Our cupcakes probably have about 10 minutes on them.
Maybe a little less.
Maybe a little less. Kind of just depends on your oven too. Our oven has been used a lot. Oh yeah, if you guys have other ideas for things you want to learn, drop them in the comment section. I am trying to come up with new things to post. New cooking classes, baking classes, really whatever you want to learn, I'm willing to teach. And if it's possible for us to put a kit together, like we provided everything but the non-perishable, or we provided the non-perishable items. Everything else, like the perishable items, the eggs, butter, and milk, had to be supplied by the person just so that we knew they stayed cold. But if we can do a kit on whatever you're looking to make, it'll definitely be out there. So this summer I'm actually looking forward to a trip. I'm going to New York. I mentioned in the beginning and towards the middle that I want to attend the Culinary Institute of America after high school. I am going to be attending a summer camp there over the summer. I'm meeting up with a friend from Chicago. So the past 2 years, I went to Kendall College. I took a cooking and a baking course for a week in Chicago, and now I'm taking one at the Culinary Institute of America, and I'm very excited. Do we have a question?
Just need a cookie cutter for the brownies.
We're going to use our hands to form them into patties. You want your brownie would have to be cooked pretty well to almost like cake, really chewy, if you want it to be successful with cutting out with a circle, because it's a little challenging. The brownies are softer because we're forming them with our hands.
Trying to plate to put your brownie on.
Oh, I have a little plate. This is going to be mine for assembling and decorating. I thought we had the checkerboard plates.
How do you use them?
Oh, that would have been cute. This is a pink plate. If you haven't noticed, my favorite color is pink. I don't know. I got a watermelon hand mixer because the very first person I started watching who did baking, well, I watched Yolanda Gamp and Rosanna Pansino, and she had this hand mixer. So I asked for it for my birthday, and I use it multiple times every week. So it's we just got a new one. I don't use it as often as I use this one. My other one is lime green or green apple. Very bright, very fun. I like the bright colors. If you guys have any other questions, just let me know. Our brownie's starting to cool down a little bit. Still, oh, did you turn it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you did. That's why
Turn it back.
it's okay right now.
Okay.
Like I said, a nice sheet of parchment paper under or a really well-greased pan will make these successful. I wouldn't recommend, don't do wax paper, that will melt in your oven. We have had people ask about wax paper. It's made of wax, so it's gonna melt in the oven and stick to your food. So
And then I don't have to scrub as hard.
yeah, and then you don't have to work as hard when you're cleaning it. Notice how it kind of just peels off really nicely. Yeah, it's still pretty warm. But our burgers aren't going to be super huge. If you have a liner to look at, they're only about to be, because cupcakes normally, sometimes they stay this shape, really the wide. Sometimes they tend to shrivel up a little bit when they cool down. So if you take a look at this, you're not going to want your patty much bigger than the bottom of your cupcake pan.
Add a wax paper.
Oh! Did you bake them with wax paper? Let's see if she answers. I might have baked something. I've definitely baked something on wax paper before, so it's okay. Our cupcakes are in the oven. They're looking pretty good. They probably have a few more minutes.
Probably about 3-4 minutes.
3 or 4 minutes until they're out. And those cool normally quicker than the brownie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can also bake cakes like this. If you're making cake pops, you can bake them on a thin piece of parchment or a well-greased cookie sheet, and then because you take the cake and you kind of mush it with some frosting and a little bit of chocolate to form it into a cake pop. This is a lot quicker way to bake it than a thick cake pan. Yeah.
Isn't that how that's how they do it, the big bakeries?
Yeah, at large bakeries in big cities that sell cake pops, and even I was on MasterChef Junior and Bake It Like Buddy, and on Bake It Like Buddy, me and my grandma, we got to walk through the kitchens where they actually film Cake Boss and where they decorate all their cakes, and all of their cakes are baked in sheet pans, and then they take not cookie cutters, but like the circular cake pans, and they cut out the circle that they're gonna use. And I know there's other bakeries that do that as well because it cooks a lot faster and they're super busy with orders, so it probably speeds up their process. So we're checking our cupcakes.
2 more minutes still.
A few more minutes.
4 minutes, I think.
Yeah, they're starting to cool down, so I'm just going to use my spoon to kind of divide off. They're more of a fudgy brownie. Let's see, that might be good. I'm getting rid of the little edge because it might be a little crunchy. And so you're just going to kind of form it together like this. Mine are pretty cool, yeah. So I'm going to make a few patties. Kind of into a cake pop. My cupcakes are still pretty soupy in the middle. Need a few more minutes for sure. Yeah, mine are still in the oven as well. So it's pretty good, and it looks pretty realistic. I can just check it. That'll be good. I'm gonna make probably 2 more and kind of let them cool. They will cool a lot faster once they're shaped because the whole pan's not cooling. Be careful when doing this because they are still a little warm. My cupcakes need another minute or 2 and then they should be about good. Like I said, your cupcakes and brownies could bake at a different rate and time than ours. It just depends on what oven you have. A newer oven would probably cook a little bit faster than an older one.
Convection too.
And convection, depending like the features that your oven has. I have a gas oven, so if you have an electric one, it could bake a little bit different. So I did mention this in the beginning. If you post a photo with your hamburgers on Facebook or on Instagram, make sure you tag. If you go on Instagram, tag Kamryn Chasness, and if you do Facebook, you can tag Kamryn's Creations, and we'll see your post, maybe republish it or give it a comment. My little hamburgers are looking amazing. If you have any ideas for future classes, let me know below. This is what they look like. Little patties. Are they done?
Check. Oh, yeah. There's at least 3. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you want to take them out so they can completely cool?
Yep.
Okay. I'm also going to need a knife to cut them in. They're going to take, you want to give your cupcakes a few minutes to cool. You don't want to rush them because they'll stick to the side of your wrapper. If you want to put them in the fridge for a few minutes, they'll cool down pretty quick in there too. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yeah, they're pretty good. So I'm gonna let mine cool for a little bit. You can do a little Q&A if you have any questions about me. I've told you pretty much everything to know, I think.
Someone said, are you doing a tablespoon to scoop out your brownies?
So there isn't a specific measurement you have to use. I just grabbed, this is a Sunday spoon actually, and I just scoop an amount like this, and then I mush it together and create the patty. If you need a little more brownie, you can always grab a little more, or you can always put some back. Or I'll probably end up eating these once the live ends. I'll probably making 12 patties, correct? Yeah, or as much batter as your cupcakes made. So if you had 14 cupcakes, make 14 patties. Or if you want double patties for some of your brownies or some of your burgers, go for that. There's a lot of room to be creative in creating these. So you guys already know, I was on MasterChef Junior when I was 11. That's the one with Gordon Ramsay and Christina Tozzi. And then I was actually cast for Chopped at the same time. Chopped. I was supposed to be on the Halloween edition. I was cast within like the same week, I'm pretty sure. And I had to decide which one I was going to be on because it was like conflicts. So I chose MasterChef. I'm pretty glad I chose MasterChef because I got to spend 2 weeks in LA. I got to meet over 40 people, 40 kids from all over the US. On Chopped, I would have been there for at most a week, and that's making it to the final round.
3 days.
Or 3 days, so 3 days in New York. And then I would have met only 3 other people. So MasterChef was pretty cool. It was the whole experience. You got your outfits in the trailer, the like fashion trailer you went to get your outfits all chosen, and it was pretty cool. You got to go to the set. It was the whole thing. So our patties are almost cool. Our brownies I keep calling them patties. Our cupcakes are starting to cool down a little bit. Mine already came out. This is what it'll look like once you take it out. The bright light is my YouTuber light when I used to do YouTube. If you go to Everything Useful with Kamryn and Lauren, you can still find some cooking videos on there. So, if you want a good laugh. I might try peeling all these because this one came out pretty well. They're working pretty good. Perfect. They all came out beautifully. Just like that. Here's my knife. This is what I'm going to use because instead we're not going to stack them like this. We're going to cut them in half to create the rounded top of the hamburger bun and the flat bottom of the hamburger bun. These are also pretty cool. This was an edge piece. It cooked a little, so the closer to the pan you go, the fudgier they'll get, and the closer to the edge of the pan, they'll be less fudgy, more cakey. So this one was kind of a mix. So it really looks like a patty. It's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna cut these and start assembling. So what you're gonna do you're going to take your cupcake, and like I said, if you're not here yet, you can go back and watch the live, so don't panic. I'm going to cut slowly down the center so I don't break the cake, just like that. So then I get the top and the bottom of my hamburger bun. Then this is where you get creative. You can kind of do whatever you want. I'm going to put on my patty first. That way you guys can see. I'm going to put on my patty first. Then I'm going to put on, I think, some cheese, because the cheese always goes on the patty. Thank you for the scissors, behind the scenes lady. And this is just in a piping bag. You can spread it on with a knife if you don't have a piping bag, or you can use a plastic bag and cut the edge. It'll work also. I'm going to pipe a square and kind of try to make it look like the cheese is folding over the edge. And then I'm going to fill it in. And I'm going to make sure that these edges look realistic. But that's up to you. Keep in mind, burgers aren't perfect. So if your burger doesn't look like the photo, most burgers don't. And then I'm going to fill it in. Just like that. Because you're not really going to see the inside, so it's just got to look good from the outside, you know? Then I'm going to take my ketchup. And I'm going to do a little bit of ketchup. This I'm just going to kind of drizzle on. Like that. Now I put my frosting on first so that my lettuce will stick to it. I'm going to put on a little bit of lettuce, which is actually coconut that I've dyed green. And this is just with some green food coloring. I shook it up in a bag just like this. And the green overtakes the color. I'm going to put, since nobody's going to see the inside of our burgers, I'm going to put a drop of whatever color you want, just so that the bun will stick to the top. So I'm just going to do a little swirl. I can call it mustard if I really want to. That way that the top of the bun will sit. Just like that. And then this part's up to you. You can put some seeds on. You can also use, if they don't stick with without any frosting, you can take a little bit of yellow. Just like this. I'm going to just pipe it on, but then I'm going to use, I drew a smiley face on accident. I'm going to just take this and smear on evenly so that they stick. Just like that. It's going to get a little messy, but it'll still be fun. And then I'm going to sprinkle on my seeds. Then I will grab my toothpick, put it right through the center, just like that. And there you go. You have your burgers. I'll come show this closer to the live. This is what it looks like. The top, the sides with all of our cheese and ketchup and lettuce oozing out. It looks delicious. Definitely like a burger I'd eat again. So I'm just gonna wrap this up while you guys are decorating your patties. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This is my very first live stream that I've ever done. Thank you. This is my very first live cooking class or baking class that I've ever done. So, well, actually I've done one, but one interactive one. So hopefully you learned a lot, you enjoyed it, you got to ask the questions you were wondering, and hopefully I see you tomorrow and Saturday for some more cooking and baking classes. Drop a like, make sure you go, it's like a YouTube video. Drop a like, make sure to go follow Kamryn's Creations on Facebook, and stay tuned for some more interactive online classes. Bye everybody, thank you, have a good night. Now I just stand here until you figure out how to end it.